Okay, there we are. It is part 2 of our doubleheader show Friday. This is the NASCAR edition of Heading Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we do that each and every day, Monday through Friday, as we do our best to help you guys in your journey to head back to the window. And today we're going to help you head back to the finish line with the help of our pal over there from Just Parlays. It is Chris King. Betting
I don't even get to introduce myself as Bobby the Brain Heenan, and I'm the host of this show. You just ruined it.
Yeah, well, sorry, buddy. Sorry, man. What's going on
with the program? Not a whole lot. I mean, obviously, everybody's excited about the NASCAR race this week. Hopefully, it'll turn out better than last week, where we saw a lot of big names get wrecked again.
Yep, we did. It was.
I thought it was a fun race down the stretch, though. Suarez gave a bit of a push at the end.
Yeah, but nobody's paying to watch Suarez win a race.
Well, he didn't win the race. I just meant in general, it was a pretty
the entire country of Mexico. Come on now.
I was going to say, I'd say the race itself wasn't that great, which we kind of expected. I thought the final 10 laps were fine. Then it wasn't that bad.
Okay. But it wasn't that great either. I mean, compared to what we saw at Daytona, obviously, it paled in comparison to that.
Well, yeah, but it looked like for about an hour and a half that Reddick was just going to win all 3 stages and coast to an easy win. I mean, that's what it looked like before he spun out.
Well, we had some outstanding picks, especially for our favorites. Scott and I each had Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like yeah. We hadn't learned our lesson there. He finished.
Did he finish in like 15th though somehow?
14th. He ended up
14th. Not bad.
Of course, that gained both of us 23 points. Chris said, "Hold my beer," and took Chase Elliott,
which he was running fine until Kyle Larson decided to wreck him.
Yeah, victim of circumstances. He finished 26th. That got Chris 11 points. Now
he should have finished in the top 5.
Mm-hmm. Scott and I did a little better on our mid-range picks as we both had Joey Logano at plus 140 to get a top 5, plus 1,500 to win. Pretty much had the second or third best car out there all day. He ended up finishing in 5th place. That got us 34 points, a couple bonus points there as well. And then Chris jumping on the Busch bandwagon. Had Kurt Busch, and Kurt Busch did his thing. Kind of drove around all day, kind of kept moving up steadily. Never
didn't
really
run anybody off the road.
Didn't run anybody off the road, and he ended up finishing 8th, just out of that top 5 position that Chris predicted. And as far as our long shots go, Chris and I kind of did well there, as I had Eric Almirola at plus 280 to be in the top 10. He ended up finishing 6th. Nicely done, AA. And Chris did even better with Eric Jones going plus 280 for a top 10 as well, and he ended up finishing 3rd. So Chris picked himself up 15 bonus points there. Scott had Bubba Wallace.
Technically, I originally had Keselowski, but he also sucked. So that
I don't know why
matter.
You keep coming back to the other shitty driver that you picked. Well, I wanted Keselowski, and he sucked too, but I had to take Bubba Wallace, who sucked.
Well, I just wanted to throw in Keselowski did suck too. So keep that in mind.
It's just your passive-aggressive way of letting us know you were unhappy.
Second straight week. So,
what's that?
Didn't he wreck someone for the second straight week?
Yeah, he wrecked like 3 people, didn't he?
So I mean, he's on a roll. We should set an over/under for how many guys he's going to wreck, because I think Reichel would have missed that one too, because he said it was going to be under 1.5.
So as far as the points go, I had 88. Reichel had 75. Chris had 89 due to his Eric Jones bonus points. And for the entire season, Chris still leads at 158. Scott's 128, and I'm closing the gap at 120. The money is where we're running into a dispute. Because
the dispute's because I don't think you're weighing matchups too heavily. I think that's the issue.
No, I weighed them all equally. Every pick that we made, I put $100 on it.
That's the problem.
Unit.
That you just admitted what the problem is.
Because you made shitty picks.
No, because I'm putting like a 10th.
The problem is my picks were terrible, and I want to do something about it. So
I have my system. I mean, I put about 2/10 of a unit on
your system was betting $10 on Robert Morris to win the Horizon League too.
That was fun. Listen, they won a round. That was fun. I had a hell of a time.
Did you watch that show when I lit the dollar bill on fire?
I think the issue that we run into is that I put 2 units on my favorite matchup, and I put like a 1/10 of a unit on the actual outrights. And we're weighing them equally. I think that's the problem that we're running into.
I'm going to step away for a minute and see if I can go find a fuck to give.
You don't. I know you don't care. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
Care.
You might be able to buy one on eBay and get it.
Yeah, I'll see if they got them on sale. So basically, everything we bet, we put a unit on. Scott was unhappy with that system because he wanted to show that he put more on the ones that actually won. He didn't mention it at the time.
I've done the same betting system after the race was over.
What's that?
I never bet a unit on the outrights, ever.
So all those picks I give you guys, forget about them. Don't bet those. Just bet this matchup.
You can bet them, just don't bet a unit. That's what I'm trying to say.
So on the money, I was absolutely screwed because my matchup was Ryan Blaney over Austin Cindric, a matchup that Blaney was leading literally all day long until the last lap when Blaney got caught up in the shenanigans. Cindric actually beat him by about 3 spots. That cost me huge. Even with that, I was still down 1 unit, down 100. Rachel was down 160 or up 7,000, depending on which.
I mean, I was plus 1.25, but according to this system,
Enron bookkeeping here.
According to this system, I was bad in my actual whatever.
In Lake, I
made money, so you can read that as you want.
Yeah,
whatever.
We read it as minus 160, third
place. Okay, you can if you want. I know what my bankroll says. So that's
Chris lost the least amount of money at minus $20 or a fifth.
Way to go!
So
way to go!
Yeah, cool.
Well done. So
thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Kurt Busch.
Yeah, no kidding. So let's get it fired up today, guys. We've got the Pennzoil 400, and it's the last time I use a betting site to tell me how to spell Pennzoil because it went against what I thought was the case. And because it's Pennsylvania, there should be 2 N's in it. But if you like to bet online, they're fucking morons. So,
well, that's why I say don't believe what you read on the internet, right?
No, well, they also tell me the race is Saturday, so that should have been my.
There you go. So don't believe what you read on the internet.
And they spelled it with 2 T's. So I should have been suspicious all along.
It's like when you get those spam emails from Amazon, where the Z turns into a different letter, and they got a bunch of symbols in there.
Yeah, it's they spell it with 2 Z's. So that's never good.
And 3 N's.
Yeah. So let's get it rolling. We're headed to Vegas, guys. The Busch brothers are coming home. Does anybody care?
I'm not taking Kyle again. So,
you jumping on Kyle Busch again, buddy?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay. All right. So
I tried. I gave it one last ditch effort, a Custer's last stand, if you will. Didn't happen. It didn't go well. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I mean, he'd been outstanding on that track. We made a solid case for it, but what the case we should have made was he's a terrible driver who doesn't do well anymore. that's the case that we should have made. So
that's where you have to put up the disclaimer. Past results does not indicate future success.
Right.
And then put up a picture of Kyle Busch.
Objects in your mirror may be larger than they appear.
Exactly.
Isn't that the fucking truth?
Coffee may be hot.
So let's take a look. I'll kick it off as far as this Vegas race goes. I'm gonna take everybody's favorite. I was gonna call him a racist. I'm not gonna do that. But arguably the best driver right now, I think it's Kyle Larson. He's the defending champion.
It's arguable.
I don't love what?
It's arguable. I just thought he's the best. You can make an argument for somebody else.
He's the best at wrecking Chase Elliott when the race is on.
Can you make an argument at somebody else? I mean, he's the defending champion who's won a bunch of races the last couple of years.
This show is never going to end.
No, not at all.
If you guys pick apart every sentence I say, so what do we call him? What do we call Kyle Larson? The best driver out there?
Yeah,
how about we call him the best driver in racing simulations?
Yes. Well, he is the favorite to win the NASCAR championship. So,
yeah.
But it seems like he's the favorite in every race that we've seen. I mean, he was the favorite at Daytona. He was a prohibitive favorite last week, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's the favorite again this week.
I've got to run him again here, guys. His last 5 races at Vegas, he's got 4 top 10s. He's got 1 victory. I don't know what's not to like about this kid. I think if he can stay out of trouble, I think he can start picking up some wins. Got him at plus 400. Maybe somebody's got a better price than that. That just happens to be the book I'm using.
DraftKings has him at 5.
I'll take it. I'll take 5 hundo on Kyle Larson. I think he stays out of trouble, avoids the Noid, and picks up the checkered flag. It'll be Kyle Larson.
Now wait, does Rachel know what the Noid was?
I'm sure he does.
No.
You know what that is?
No.
That was a
Domino's,
yeah. I couldn't get Papa John's out of my head. It was the little annoying guy that screwed up your pizza at Domino's.
Oh.
He actually made a return here last year. Some kind of
Oh, that was who that person was supposed to be in that commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
looks like
used
the
to show
on acid, kind of.
Yeah, the wacky one that was just jumping around like an idiot. That's who that's supposed to be?
That's the Noid.
I didn't know who the hell that was. Okay.
That's back when they were promoting that, you could get your pizza in 30 minutes or less, or it was free until, they got all those lawsuits for accidents and stuff where they ended up having to pay out a whole shitload of money. Then they went away from it, and the Noid kind of went with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool story, bro. Reichel, who you got here, buddy? You got the Noid?
Well, same as last week. We're gonna have some similar racers.
Oh, you got Kyle Busch again?
I'm taking Larson. I'm taking Larson here, not Busch, because Larson is insane, and at plus 550 on Fox Bet, I got to take it.
Oh fuck! Were you gonna save that to the end?
Well, I was mentioning it, but
I'm talking 400. You're saying 500. You're just.
Well, I knew I was going after you, so I knew we had the same guy. But
nothing.
Either way, he's finished top 10 in 7 of the last 8 races here. 4 top 3 finishes here. He actually won this exact race last year, so he definitely comes in knowing how to win here. But he's the best driver. I mean, it's not really close, especially on speedways. Arguably, I saw that Matthew Torvik makes a point that he thinks the Chevys have an edge with the new car. I agree with that. It looks like the Chevys have definitely done very well here, or at least with the new car. I'm going with the best Chevy there is. I'll take Larson at plus 550.
Okay, very good. Chris, you're going to make it a clean sweep?
No, I refuse to, because the show gets very boring if everybody picks the same thing all the time.
That's right.
So I'm going to go
again. Do it.
No, Elliot was just because you guys both picked Kyle Busch last week. So
okay.
I'm going to actually go with Ryan Blaney. He's run here 11 times. He's won a pole once. He's finished in the top 5 times, and he's finished in the top 10 8 times. If you look at in the last, he finished 5th the last 2 runs here. He finished 5th in 2019 as well. I think at Blaney at plus 1,000 carries some value here.
I'd get anything better than 1,000 for Blaney.
No, that's what I saw. I think maybe if you shop around, you can maybe find an 1,100. I forgot which book, but that might have been available at 1 or 2 spots. Blaney, I looked into. It's kind of weird because he has so many top 5s, but he's never done better than 5th. It's like he just reaches the top 5, but he hasn't gotten into the top 4. I guess the one concern I have with Blaney is that he's so aggressive down the stretch of races, which you like, but he'll occasionally run himself into a wall, which we've kind of seen the last couple of weeks. He gets into a bit of wreckage, trying to go for a bit too much at times. Does that concern you at all?
Literally, he kind of hits the wall.
Yeah. Literally.
Well, I mean, he's actually, he's finished every race at Vegas in his 11 runs. I mean, so I'm not going to worry about him crashing too much. His average finish at the track is 8.8. So I think he's going to hang in there. Hopefully Larson doesn't wipe him out like he wiped out Elliott last week.
I believe that's the second lowest, right? Blaney's 8.8. I'm pretty sure that's the second lowest of all active drivers on this track.
I'll double check because I think I saw that somewhere.
All right, very good. Somebody talking about JC Stone says Harvick has some value.
Yeah, Logano's at 8.6. He's the one right in front of him.
Harvick plus 1,800. He's done well at this track traditionally. Done well lately with 5 top 10 finishes in his last 6 races. Guys, you think any value, or is it a spoiler? I don't want to do too much away here before we.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I don't have Harvick. I have opinions on it. If Chris does, then I'll let him go about his Harvick opinions.
Well, let's
no, go ahead, Scott.
Well, let's get her rolling. Let's do our mid picks right now.
Now, what's the cutoff on mids? Because I know that I don't want to have Reichel yelling that he had.
I texted him. I'm going to text him every night before the show, confirming what the long shot
me, so I don't know what the cutoff is.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically from 10 to 20 is mids.
Okay, I'm just making sure that so I know where we're at.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch would be the first long shot, and Kyle Busch would be the first mid.
Gotcha.
All right. So, having said that, Reichel, what you got?
So for this one, I'm going to look at the first person that Thomas Bowie in the comment section actually mentioned, Martin Truex Jr. at around 17-1 on FanDuel. He's finished top 10 here in 8 of the last 9 races. He's won 2 races on this track before, and he has an average finish of 10.4, which is the 4th lowest on the entire circuit. I know the results so far this season have not been great, but he's been really good here. I'm going to take him to do pretty well here at 17-1.
Okay, very good. Chris, what you got?
I was actually going to go a different route. I was going to go with Denny Hamlin. He's going currently at 12-1. He won here last fall. His first win there, he finished fourth in the race in early on in the season. So his last 3 runs here, he's finished third, fourth, and first. I think Hamlin has figured out this track finally because he had some issues prior to that, but 3 straight runs he's run well here, and I think there's value there. I mean, he's going to hopefully bounce back from the rough couple of runs he's had to start the year. Obviously, everybody expected more from him at Daytona than we got because he wiped out, and then last week wasn't all that great for him either. But I look for him to bounce back and put up a good finish this week.
Well, I am going to ask because we both have Joe Gibbs drivers. It was mentioned earlier that Chevys have done pretty well so far with the new car. It's pretty noticeable that Joe Gibbs has been struggling as a whole this season. Do you think that it's going to just be a learning curve of adjusting to the new car, or do you just think right now they're just behind the 8 ball?
I think it's going to be an adjustment period. I mean, obviously, Chevy's had a good run to start, but these things tend to equalize as you go on. And obviously, Gibbs has sunk a whole lot of money into his team. So they're going to figure things out, I think. Scott, what do you say?
I say I hate this show so much. I've got Martin Truex also.
Let's go. Welcome aboard.
You guys really need to coordinate your outfits better.
We really do. We really do. We need to stop doing that.
You going to start syncing up your periods?
Yeah, thank you very much. Apparently we already do. We've been doing this a year, dude. Show together. So, by the way, just a recap for everybody, if you're new to the show, the mid-range picks are the guys that we would love it if they win, but we think that's probably going to be somewhere around a top 5 finish, so we'll give you top 5 odds as well. Truex is plus 130 at top 5. Denny Hamlin minus 120 at the top 5. So Harvick is a bad dude, said Thomas Bowe. I agree.
Well, that's going to segue us back to Harvick because I know we mentioned that beforehand. Actually, do you have anything you want to add on Truex, or I kind of covered?
No, I think you laid it out pretty well. Just a good driver. Had a couple bad breaks this season so far, and personally, I'm rooting for him too. He's got a wife that's battling cancer, and seems like a good dude. So on a personal level, I'd like to see him win, but that obviously doesn't play into my cap. He's just been very good at this track. I think he's due.
I kind of want to segue back to Harvick though, because I know that was brought up.
Sure.
I'm not really interested in Harvick. I know he's been good here, but I don't want to say he's past his prime at this point.
Oh, he is.
But it kind of feels like he is. Like you can, I was trying to be generous, but it doesn't seem like Harvick is doing a great job for the last year and a half, really, of keeping up with some of the younger guys. And I'm not sure if that's the new car. I'm not sure if it's just him not being the same guy that he used to be. But as these drivers get older, you tend to notice, I can't say they lose a step or two because they're in a car, but you know what I mean? They're just not the same as they used to be. It seems like Harvick at this point is kind of a shell of his former self. Can I say that?
Yeah, he's a little better than the shell, but he's
better, but he's not.
Doesn't quite have that edge to keep him at the top.
You hear Kevin Harvick and you think like easy top 5, top 10 finish. He's just not that guy anymore, in my opinion.
Quite. No, he isn't. Although, like you said, he's done well at this track. So,
what do you think, Chris?
I think you're right. I think he's not so much lost a step, but his reaction time might be a little bit slower. And like you said, there's a lot of good young drivers out there now that learned from what Harvick did before, and now they can do it a little bit better than he did in his prime.
You guys think these kids that grow up on the simulator, you think that replaces like the old background, the karting, where you go from karts to quarter midgets, then maybe run some small dirt tracks into the ARCA series, that kind of shit? Is the simulator taking a lot of that out of there? Are these guys learning a lot more, a lot faster?
It sure seems like it. I mean, it's kind of like the way, not to go back to the way wrestling was, but with the territories, because you would start off in one place and work your way up. And that's the same way that racing used to be.
Right.
Like you said, you started off, dirt tracks and everything else, and maybe you caught on in the Grand National Series and everything else, or you did ARCA races or whatever. And eventually, if you were good enough, you made it up there. Now it just seems that, you play video games and drive around in simulators, and somebody catches your eye and you're in the Xfinity series all of a sudden. And now you're up like Cindric. Now you're up here at 22, 23 years old.
Right. It used to be that ARCA used the same cars that the Cup Series ran. They would just run old Cup cars, and the second series, which used to be the Busch series, or what is it? Is that Xfinity now, or what is it now?
Yeah, I think it's Xfinity now.
Okay, so those cars used to be like completely different, but now I think they're all using the same design, so that's not the case anymore. JC Stone says I read somewhere that Gibbs cars had some kind of filter on them for the first two races that obstructed the airflow. Supposedly Gibbs is adjusting for this race.
I'd assume so, because Busch's car like completely overheated, and they had to pump it for a couple of laps. So I hope they changed something.
Thomas Bowe said, as you get older, you dislike wrecks. Yeah, that's probably true. You lose that edge where you stick your nose in there, where you go for it. You maybe like you've been upside down just one too many times. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. 5th place isn't that bad.
So you tell that to Harry Gant.
Ugh, I've got a Harry Gant. I've got to shave later on. So, all right, let's talk about our long shots. This is
for your dick trickle.
That sounds like something you go to the doctor with. What are you here to see me about? Oh, I got a little dick trickle. Oh, that sucks. It burns too. Long shots is the real money makers right here. This is where you can get rich, boys. Chris, get us rich. What do we got?
I'm going to go with the guy that's actually won here before, and we've talked about him wrecking people the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with Keselowski at 2,500. He's won here 3 times. You look at his recent track record in the last 13 races here at Vegas. He's won 3. He's finished second twice. He's finished third twice. He's finished no worse than 7th in 12 of them. The one aberration was a 13th place finish in the fall race in 2020. I think Keselowski knows how to run here, and hopefully he won't wreck anybody out or himself. But at 2,500, I think there's meat on the bone there, and he'll come in.
All right. Well, Keselowski, actually, I've got him at 28 to 1. You want to know how I know?
Because you picked him?
That's what I have as well. I'll tell you what I like about you guys is you make my job a lot easier because I don't have to say a bunch of shit and a bunch of reasons.
You sit there and go, yeah, that what he said.
What Chris said. I know. It's not good. So I've matched somebody in every. Oh God, I hate this. I've matched somebody in every stop.
There you go. Scott's now changed his pick. He's taking Garrett Smithley at plus 3 zillion to 1.
I can tell by the smirk on Reichel's face. I think there's a chance he has Keselowski.
I got Keselowski.
There you go. I knew it. I can tell.
I got him at 28 to 1.
He's fucking smirking.
There's no way for me to not take him. I mean, 28 to 1. We mentioned it with Harvick and how it looks like he might be losing something that he used to have. Right. Keselowski's still relatively young. I just think he's being disrespected.
Okay. He's got a good track record, if you'll excuse a small pun. Running at Vegas. He's been caught up in some bad luck. You know, we've given him a hard time about causing wrecks, but sometimes you're just in the middle of shit and it just happens. Good race car driver, good equipment, good team. I think that's solid value right there.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's going to chase Greg Biffle?
No. Is Biffle running again in this race?
He's going to try.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah, he's going to try.
Hey, he's got 6 top 10s.
I'll tell you what else I don't like. I don't like having to do this show before qualifying or before practice.
Yeah, that is true.
You don't see anything. You don't have any idea what these guys are going to do other than what they've done in the past. And as we've learned with the new race car, it really means about fuck all what they've done in the past. It just kind of indicates that they know the track and they have a good team. But as far as being able to take the new car on the track, yeah, we don't know. So
what do you think Keselowski though has like the top 3 resume on this track out of anybody?
I think so.
He's 28 to 1. Like I feel like
he's got the most wins among active drivers.
People asking about Almirola and Briscoe.
Well, I know you're an Almirola guy because he cashed for you last week. You have any thoughts?
Well, Almirola has never done anything at this track, according to the records that I was looking at earlier. He's the most Vegas races without a win or a top 5 among active drivers. He's 0 for 17.
So you're saying he's due.
So you're saying
yeah, sure. Just like Pedro Serrano.
That's for bats.
I have to wake up bats.
Yeah, that's a. I liked him last week because he had a nice body of work there. A good race car driver. I just don't think he's had the best equipment.
Yeah, last year on the in this race in the spring, he finished 38th.
Not ideal.
Yeah, and in the fall he finished 19th. In 2020, he was 21st and 17th. So
Briscoe? Anybody? Briscoe?
Briscoe.
He has one top 20 in 2 starts here.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to go off of.
Yeah. It's the issue with the young guys. It's because you look at the previous results, they're usually not great, but now they have a lot more budget put into their cars because they're starting to get better. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to look. Briscoe's been pretty good this year. I was kind of intrigued a little bit by Reddick because he finished 6th on this track in his last race, but every race before that was not that pretty.
Right.
I might just be a big Reddick guy. Like, I know he spun out last week. I think he's very good. I think there's a lot of promise there in terms of potential. So
I agree. Yeah, I'm totally good with that. Anybody want to get involved with Recce Spinhouse this week? Hasn't been awful at this track. Got 2 top 10s, 1 top 5.
So that's the issue, because Stenhouse has actually been really good this year whenever his car is actually on the track. He just spins out all the time. But if you look at where he is in most of these wrecks, he's usually top 10. He's been doing well. It's just he can't go the full distance. He just always self-destructs.
He needs to run the Xfinity Series because they run fewer laps.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like you said, he finished 3rd and 6th, are his 2 best finishes. But last year he was 11th and 17th, and then there's a whole bunch of ugly numbers that start with 2s and 3s. Yep. Other than that, there's a reason. There's a reason he's plus 5,000.
Yeah, very true. JC Stones is going to be an easy summer if you guys picks. That's a positive. Yeah. There's only between the 3 of us, we only pick like 5 drivers.
So. Steve and I have the same 3 picks, so there you go.
Do we really? We match on all. That's right. We do match on all of our picks.
Oh, good. So that way, if if I get some value out of Blaney and stuff, I can just put you guys in the rearview mirror and leave it, and let you guys eat dust.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Chris is holding, but Scott and I both have pocket kings. You might have aces, so you might just win automatically.
He's representing aces here. He's really repping aces. All right, so let's give our best matchup, guys. I'll start.
I've got the 3 of clubs, a blue Uno reverse card, and the Old Maid.
Go fish.
Or as Murdoch would say on the A team, I thought we were playing Scotch, where all face cards are wild, aces are wild, and all number cards are wild, except for the 3 of spades, which is removed from the deck before we start.
Mm-hmm. Outstanding. I always thought I had a lot of useless knowledge. I think you lead me. I really do. All right, let's go to matchups here, guys. This is for money. Scott, we'll be betting on these.
These I have. The issue is that you haven't been factoring these in enough. That's the problem that we're running into.
Well, we'll see how you do, and then you let me know how much weight to put on them, okay?
I can go through the units once again. Before
He's going to tell you to put 87 units on one of them.
No one wants that. No one wants to see that. I've got Logano over Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch coming him to Vegas. Don't care. Logano has the best record. We talked about it. Or somebody did as they were making my pick for me. Logano has the best record at this track of anybody that's starting this race. Minus 125. I learned my lesson not laying fucking 220 again. God damn it. I'll take Logano over Kyle Busch at minus 125. That was a $320 swing last week. Just brutal.
By force of habit, every time I see the number 2 car, I think it's Keselowski. it's Cendric now.
I'll say you're young because I always think it's Rusty Wallace. So.
Okay, that's it.
That's Bubba Wallace's dad, by the way.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Okay.
That's like the 6th car you always think was Mark Martin.
Of course. Absolutely true. I guess before that was it like Buddy Baker?
I think so.
Back in the day. Scott, what do you got? You got Logano over Busch? Just fucking, I could just go home and leave.
I do not. You can actually stay because I got somebody else.
All right.
From what you've noticed about my matchups, there's been one trend. I keep fading Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I keep fading Will Byron. I'm going to fade him again because he crashes every race. I'm going with Truex over Byron at even money on DraftKings. I have no idea why Byron's favored in this matchup. Truex has dominated this track, top 4 in each of the last 3 races. Byron's finished 18th or worse in 3 of his last 4 races here. And he also hasn't finished a race this year. He crashes. He does really well, and then he crashes again. So I'm going to take Truex because worst case scenario, his car should actually be on the track when the race is over. I can't say the same about Byron, but even money there with a guy with a top 5 resume here is disrespectful. I'm going to take Truex at even money.
Okay, good. Good. Chris, finish it up for us, buddy.
Well, I mean, I took Keselowski as a dark horse. I know I took Kurt Busch last week to win a matchup. I'm going to go against him this week. Keselowski is actually the underdog at minus 105 over Kurt Busch, who's going at minus 115. I'm going to take Keselowski. Obviously, like we said, he's probably undervalued, probably criminally undervalued at this track based on what he's done previously. I think he'll be able to take care of Busch because let's face it, we talked about Kyle Busch, we talked about Kurt Busch. Obviously, they love to wreck themselves when they're not wrecking somebody else. But Keselowski will be just as intent on wiping Busch out if it'll keep him in front of him. So I'm going to take Keselowski at minus 105.
Very good. JC Stone checking in said he likes that Truex over Byron play at even money. Yeah, very good. Scott's putting like 17 units on it, unless it loses. And he has
the thing I'm going to do, I think to make
he's
it
putting
easier,
0.1 units on, Kyle Larson.
I think for full transparency, I'm just going to post all of my actual NASCAR plays on Twitter, just so it's documented.
Okay.
I'll make it easier that way.
No, because it's still going to be 1 unit on everything you bet today. So
no, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have your scoring system. I'm going to have mine, and whatever. I might lose.
I've got this outrageous scoring system where I count every play you put out there.
You count them all equally. That's
who came up with this concept.
I didn't see any of you guys step it up as I designed from scratch a fucking score.
Yeah, I told you that. I told you it was a good. I told you it was a good system.
You said, "What's Reichel think of it?" And he's like,
"Yeah, because I figured he was going to complain, and like he's complaining now."
Oh no, my logic was we were just going to keep the system we had previously, but then we started throwing in some other stuff. So whatever, it's fine.
He's 24. I don't check in with him for shit.
It's like actual NASCAR. We got a bunch of stuff nobody asked for, and we're kind of just dealing with it.
I see now they're back to putting up the group winners and everything too, at least on DraftKings.
Those have existed for a couple of weeks. I did see a manufacturer though on Fox.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice. I saw that earlier.
Yeah, you got your manufacturer props?
I do.
Chevy minus 110.
He's probably going to take Chevrolet at minus 110.
He likes those top Chevrolets. He likes to get that buyer. He likes to get that Larson money.
I was going to say, I didn't mean which manufacturer is going to win the race. I meant which car is going to be the best Chevy, best Ford, whatever. Those weren't up for the last couple of weeks. They're up now. I think Larson was like plus 210.
It's 190 now.
He's 190 now. I still think it's
at least on DraftKings it's 190.
How about Truex top Toyota at plus 330? He's just got to dodge Hamlin and the Busch brothers.
Yeah, I think that's a bit tricky because Kyle Busch.
He's actually only got to beat Kyle Busch because Kurt Busch is at 650.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that's your major competition there.
True.
I'm looking at it from a perspective of Kyle Busch and Hamlin both still have good resumes here, so I don't think that's a slam dunk. I like the value though, but Larson at any plus price against the Chevys. I mean, his biggest competition is Chase Elliott. None of us took him because we know he's decent here, not amazing, but he's fine. Are there really any other Chevys you really have to worry about?
It depends if Bowman decides he wants to race or not.
But I'm saying Bowman's a question mark. Byron, I know I fade all the time. I'm assuming both of you aren't that big of a fan of him.
I love how Byron's going off with the third best odds though behind Larson and Elliott.
That's my point though. You're looking at the Chevys and Larson is usually just by far and away the best, and it's not even close. Yeah, and you're still getting about 2 to 1. I think that's just a hell of a deal.
That's not a bad play.
But don't count out Mr. Jones.
That's right. He's on the Eric with the K Jones.
Yeah, I should have taken him over
Almirola
at Daytona, but no, he's a Chevy. He's at plus 1300.
Okay.
All right, guys. That's it, man. I think we're still going to keep doing this, even with the new schedule. We looked that up because we're all doing the soft launch of the new schedule next week, but they hopefully left us a gap between 4 and 5 p.m. So
yeah, from what I saw, that was the case. I know that we're moving from 1:30 to 2. I know it didn't really affect you guys at all.
No, not a bit.
No,
we just keep doing our thing.
We were originally going to move to 1, and then all of a sudden, I guess they switched it, and Allie's going to be on at 1, and then we're going to be on at 2.
I didn't give her a hard time, but I could have for the morning wood show that airs at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, but for them, it's only 10 a.m. Yeah. She's in Vegas.
I understand. But
that's why they didn't want to move to 2 because they said that it wouldn't be morning anymore.
Yep.
But it's still 11 over there if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Yeah.
JC, we'll figure out. We're going to announce the new schedule once. I'd say it's formally finalized. I'd say it's about what, like 95% finalized.
Yeah, well, we're adding more shows to the network, and the network's new name will officially be Max Wager, the Max Wager Network, right?
Not to be confused with Max Headroom.
No. So in the most important part to us, when you apply the Scott's rule, how does it affect Scott's life? Not at all.
It's a hell of a rule to live by, though.
It really is. Know
rule.
it, learn it, live it. It is the Scott rule, and you would do worse than to learn that rule. How does it affect our life? It doesn't. We'll still be doing our show every day at 3 p.m. Eastern. So there you go.
Still 72, bit of wind.
And Chris will be moving back a half an hour.
Right.
So you need to wrap your shit up, buddy. You can't be bleeding over into us. We're not going to go on ESPN 3 or something until we wait for.
We're going to put you on ESPN U.
Yeah, we're going to be on U or News until Chris is done. So yeah, wrap this shit up. So
by the way,
that's what happens when you're the flagship. You get to bump everybody else.
Kara, right. Just to throw it out there, she didn't say Dutch boy. She said Dutch Boyd, who is definitely a real person.
Dutch Boyd?
Just throwing it out there. You said Dutch Boyd with a D at the end of it, for the record.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that was a semi hanger-oner with that crew. He knew somebody that was kind of in their crew. So one of his buddies was a poker player, and
well, he's no Doyle Brunson. Let's be honest.
The Dutch Boyd crew. A Dutch Boyd, good poker player. I guarantee you, he's made over a couple million.
He's got a couple gold bracelets, so that helps.
Yeah, he does. It really does. So
yeah, but come on, he's still not Doyle Brunson.
He's not Doyle Brunson, no.
Or Johnny Chan.
Well, you see how those guys have done with the influx of new players.
True.
Spoiler alert, not well.
Whatever happened to Moneymaker? Did he just
he's
fade into oblivion?
He partnered up with ACR, so he does a bunch of online poker tournaments now.
He's a terrible poker player. He's just not a good player. He had such a great run. He's spiking the.
It's probably the best. What do you say? Best poker run of all time?
Yeah.
You have to win like 4 satellites in order to actually get a seat or something.
Yeah, and then he had a couple of. I know he spiked trips on the river to win
against Ivy.
Against Ivy, and then
good old Phil Ivy.
And then he had the famous stare down with Sammy Farha.
Yeah, it's a damn shame with Ivy though, because I think he might have actually been primed to win that year, and then Moneymaker hit that ridiculous river out.
Yep.
But good for him.
Hit the
now, who do you like less? Do you like Phil Hellmuth or Mike Matusow?
Well, Matusow went off the deep rail. I mean, for the last couple of months, like he kind of went AWOL. Hellmuth people don't like because he's rude, but I mean, he's got more bracelets than anybody else. Like I respect the success that he's had.
He's he's a good poker player. He's married to a psychologist, so
well, at least he doesn't have to go far to get psychiatric help.
The difference is
King 10, honey. He had King 10.
The difference is, I think you go have a beer. I think you have go have a beer with Hellmuth. I think it's an enjoyable experience. He's like a good guy. You can talk to him. You have a beer with Matusow. You're like, just shut the fuck up. Jesus.
Do you have a favorite old poker player? Are you a Negrano guy? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, is that who we're counting as old at this point?
Yeah. I mean, around when televised poker. I say like post Chan, like pre Moneymaker or around Moneymaker era.
Scotty Wynn.
I used to like Jesus Ferguson.
Scotty Wynn is great.
Yeah,
Scotty Wynn's an all timer.
Those guys all got caught up in the Poker Stars thing. The Ferguson and Howard.
Well, you mean Full Tilt?
Yeah, that's right. They were full tilt people.
Well, that was Ferguson who was. I don't know if Wynn was.
No, Scotty Wynn wasn't. No, I was talking about Howard Lederer and Andy Duke. And they all got caught up with the.
A lot of people
Hansen was good too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't exactly mess with Ferguson anymore just because of that whole falling out with Full Tilt.
Yep, those guys are dead. So anyway,
all right. Esfandiari was always entertaining.
Yeah, still around.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, we'll stagger down Poker Lane another time because we're gonna wrap this up. I got shit to do now. I want to go play poker. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. We talk a little NASCAR here. Should be fun. Seasons. This is kind of where the grind starts. We're starting to get into the weekly grind. So we'll see what happens. And we've all got some great picks, and most of them are the same. So enjoy that. You guys
enjoy the monotony.
Yeah, you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, man. Hope you guys hit every one of your plays. We do this every Friday, and Scott and I do our thing every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as our whole goal is to do our best to help you guys in your journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you Monday.